Hey yo guys, what's up and welcome back to Two Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're getting our final review of 2020 by Sons of Apollo. Alright, so it's been a whole week. We've listened to this album as much as we possibly could. TV Fish, take the floor and let us know what you think.
Okay, so after listening to this album for a week, I have to say, my first impressions didn't change that much. I still kind of feel like this album's okay. I can't say this album's bad. Straight up, I can't say that because I think it's, its composition is fine, it's extremely catchy. I don't think any of this music bad, but the problem is that I feel like not much of it was really gripping me. Some of the songs I kind of struggled to really even pay attention to as I was listening to it, and I just kind of just tuned it out of my head. But take a song like the first track, Goodbye Divinity. That song I don't really like that much, but it's in my head because of how catchy it is. That's kind of the biggest thing about the album, is how catchy it is. But I don't know, I was listening to it and I wasn't really loving it, but I didn't hate it. It just didn't really tickle my fancy. That being said, I think the best track on the album, at least after listening to it for a week, is Fall to Ascend. That song is totally sick. I love the riff. I think that's what makes or breaks this album for someone. Do you enjoy the riffing or not? Because if you do, you'll love it and it's super catchy and you'll enjoy it. But if you don't, it's super catchy and you're just gonna not really care, It gets in your head, but you don't want it to stay there. Resurrection Day and New World Today are also pretty good. I'd say that the last chunk of this album, the last three tracks, are the highlight of the album. Everything else kind of feels either okay or just eh. I don't know, it's wavering. It's alright. It just doesn't feel outstanding to me. It doesn't really feel like much of it is really remarkable. It just kind of feels pretty standard. Would I put this album on if I was kind of bored and wanted something to put on? I don't know. I don't really think I would. But maybe Fall to Ascend. I added that to my Spotify playlist because it was totally sick. It was I think Sunday or Monday when I put that track on and it just blew my mind. I'm like, wow, I wish the rest of the album was like this.
Well, I'm gonna say that I concur with every single thing you just said, except one thing. I didn't think Fall to Ascend was good enough to put on my playlist, but I do think it was the best song on the album. But everything you just said was basically my thoughts coming out of your mouth, just Actually, you know what? Not everything. I wasn't a fan of Resurrection Day or New World Today. They're not bad, but I didn't really think they were the strong points. The strongest point of this album for me is the last 2 minutes of track 5, King of Delusion. The last 2 minutes of that song, because that's the song you get that cool piano drum break, and
right.
then it bleeds into the guitar solo, which is probably the best guitar solo on the album. I think there's 2 solos, and then the vocals, he does this, it's like a scream screech thing, which is unique to the rest of the album, which I thought was kind of cool because the rest of the album, I find this vocalist very bland, very boring. And other comments in our first impressions video said, oh no, he's one of the best singers, blah, blah, blah. He didn't show it on this album. Definitely not. He played it safe, very bland, very boring. I was very disappointed in the vocals. It's tolerable, not bad, but there's just nothing special about it, except for that last screaming part in King of Delusion. Now after King of Delusion, Fall to Ascend starts with that sick drum intro.
Oh, that was sick.
Which reminds me of The Wolf is Loose by Mastodon. I don't know if you caught that too, but it's very similar.
I can see that comparison. That
Very
makes
similar.
sense.
So yeah, the ending of King of Delusion and the beginning of Fall to Ascend is my favorite part of the whole album. The end of one song and the beginning of another song. The rest of the album I found rather boring. I was never really eager to listen to the album. It almost felt like a bit of a chore to listen to it. Okay, I'm doing the review, gotta put this on. It just wasn't, nothing gripping like you said. My first impressions basically stayed the same, just kinda it's there, it's not horrible. Will I ever put it on? Probably never again. With the odd chance, maybe I'll check Fall to Ascend out one or two times in the future, or maybe King of Delusion and might go, hey, you know what, this song's a lot better than I remembered it, and throw it on the playlist maybe, who knows.
Yeah.
But as of right now, they didn't make the cut for me to put on the playlist, so I'm just kind of a meh on here right now.
Yeah, like we kind of feel similar. Like I totally agree and feel the same way when you said this album kind of felt like a chore.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like that way for me too, and it didn't really take long for that to happen either, which is unfortunate. It was around like Tuesday where I just kind of looked at it after listening. I'm like, man, I'm kind of done with this album. Like, it doesn't really feel like there's much more to it. For me.
And you expect more from a supergroup too.
Yeah, when it's a supergroup and a supergroup like this, you kind of expect there to be so much depth to it, all the crazy stuff, but a lot of the album is just kind of like
basic. Feels basic to me, I don't know.
Yeah.
Plain.
And you know, I did listen to, I'm pretty sure the last album was Psychotic Symphony. I listened to that again, and it feels actually pretty similar to this album, but maybe slightly, with slightly more depth. Like, feels like maybe, like, overall it's a little better than this new one, but yeah, it still kind of felt a little, like, just simple in that regard and not really too remarkable.
Yeah, well, I think we've kind of said enough. Let's get to ratings.
Okay, so this album, like I said, is just kind of like okay, but the fact that I did kind of like the ending of the album, the last 3 tracks out of like what, 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so out of 8 tracks, 3 being tolerable, it's not bad, but overall the album's just kind of okay, so I give it a 5.5. Would be a 5, but the fact that the end of the album is kind of neat and Fall to Ascend is sick, gives it that little nudge over to a 5.5.
5.5 is pretty fair. I obviously didn't like it as much as you did. Neither of us liked it that much, but my score is going to be a 4, which basically falls right in line with my first impression score. It just didn't do a lot for me. I don't think it's bad per se, but I couldn't find anything really that stood out or that I really liked about it. So 4 is what it gets for me.
I was glad that the album did have something for me, you know, to warrant that, but understandable score, 5.5 from me, a 4 from Vile Self. And that's all we got for you guys today. Remember to like the video if you like it, comment, tell us in the comments below what you thought of this album after 1 week. If you agree or disagree with us, we'd love to hear what you guys think. Remember to subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Check out our Spotify playlists in the description below. I'm TV Fish.
I'm Vile Self.
And see you guys later.